Have you ever heard of the YouTube mom known as Ruby Franke? Well, after this video, you're going to wish you hadn't have. Now, Ruby ran the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, which was giving out parenting advice. She really was a giver. And she's been accused of giving out a combination of multiple physical injuries to her children, including torture, starvation, and malnutrition that jeopardizes life. And the 2 women who've been charged are looking at 1 to 15 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000, which is a drop in the ocean for this woman because she has been making a shitload of money out of prostituting her children out all over the internet, pretending to be Mary f***ing Poppins. But let's reserve judgment. She might be innocent. You know when there's a crime committed, it's on the news and they interview the neighbours and the neighbours are like, I would never have thought. You would never have seen that coming. That's not one of these times. This woman had 2 million YouTube subscribers doing family vlogs, cooking, advice, all of that bullshit. And there was a lot of complaints throughout that time.
They're gonna think you're torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are.
I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
The privilege to eat dinner. Bare minimum we're talking here. Stuff that the cavemen probably took care of quite easily. It's not a privilege at this point, is it? You f***ing dickhead.
Very
Chad,
nutritious.
what are you doing over there? You no texting.
Look at this guy, by the way. Like, there's not a picket of fat on any of these things. And I'm not saying kids should be fat before you get me on that one in the comments. But come on. Like, when you're a kid, you usually have a little bit of chubs on. Do you know what I mean? He looks like a 14-year-old who's built like a 10-year-old.
What are you doing over there? You no texting at the dinner table. No texting.
What is it? I really like you.
It's one thing monitoring your kids' phones for security reasons, make sure, you know, no dangerous things are going on. It's not there to just mock him at the table at the messages he sent these girls. How are you ever going to have a close relationship with your son? You're going to just ridicule him for messaging girls? And then he posts it on the internet just to give everyone else a good laugh. Number 1 dad. Yeah, certainly picked a good woman.
The only downside to giving your kids a flip phone is I swear I have to remember how to work it every time I go through it.
This is just them being dickheads. We ain't even got started yet.
I saw you in my dreams last night.
So the dad's a bit of a dick, but we'll get on to him because he's acting like he had nothing to do with all this.
What is the nature of your relationship with this individual?
These are Mormons. I don't know if you know, in Utah, they're quite heavily religious there, and they have quite strict rules and guidance around what young people can be doing together. So I don't know if this is part of that, but it ain't cool.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
You can't take a bedroom away. You take the things in the bedroom away. What do? Barricade it.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason.
He can't even remember the reason. It was 6 months ago.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack.
See, that is funny. You lost your bedroom for 6 months for a practical joke?
And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell. He's like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on.
I don't... That is funny. You know what, right? You can see, right, the fact that she dishes out such insane punishments for little things like that, she loves this. She loves punishing. Like, it's a thrill for her. She gets off on it sexually. She probably goes to bed at night and flicks her bean over how much misery she's inflicting on her children. Yeah, I said it.
Do you think it's funny? Because
And then I walk out.
if you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
Oh, she's talking her shit. She's like, oh, you want some more? There's plenty more where that came from. We got more beanbags, bitch.
He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
So now that the initial awkward laughs have finished, you can see him staring off into the distance, just miserable, because we're seeing one example of her punishments. This kid has had a lifetime of them, and he is fucking fed up with it.
Abby, we took the phone away from Abby in November. And you may never get the phone back.
Probably not.
She's just bragging about the way she keeps her kids in check and thinking that this makes her a great mother. It's like people who become obsessed with losing weight. Like, yeah, good. A little bit of discipline is a good thing. It's not a competition.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
So both of her kids don't have friends. I mean, how can they? What kind of social skills are they getting from these clumpets?
If you cut one more thing in my house,
Chopping its head off.
I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma will be so mad.
So what are you going to do?
Are you gonna cut anything else? No.
We're dealing with f***ing pure evil here. Like, imagine getting your rocks off to doing that to a little kid, you f***ing cruel bitch.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? Her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch.
I mean, funny old thing. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with your kid starving to death over there in the corner. And we're talking about a 6-year-old here. Wow.
I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning.
No. Why stop there? You know what I mean? When is she going to start paying tax, the lazy little shit? 6 years old. I can't even imagine having to make my own lunch at 6 years old. Jesus, it would have just been a box full of sugar and milk, and off to work I go. And the saddest thing is like, I'm laughing now, it just gets f***ing darker and darker.
Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Hopefully no one looks after my kid. This is just like the opposite of everything that you're supposed to say.
If you have something in the bag that you would like out, you can pay cash for it. So you learn the value of your items.
It's this lad's face that's just done me there. Like, he's literally like, who the fuck is my mother? Satan! What the fuck am I dealing with here?
Or you can give.
He's so fucking sick. He's had enough. He's absolutely had enough. He's like, why won't this bitch just die?
Dad, I'll let you take the conversation from here.
You can do an equivalent value chore to get it back.
What's it?
And whatever isn't claimed by the end of the day.
He looking over his shoulder like he's Will Smith right now. Is this right? Am I doing it? Is this okay? That dad needs a good fucking hiding, man. Big time.
I'm gonna go get dressed for football.
You're gonna have to go find your shorts. Oh, did you see the socks you threw at the side of the garden? And you are not going anywhere unless you pick up your junk. You've got crap strewn all around. Now, so you see, now I'm using bad language. That's how bad of a mood I'm in. You get your socks picked up and don't you leave your stuff out anymore.
Where?
Right over there. Run and go pick them up. And then give me 10 push-ups.
I really had it good. I had it great. Honestly, wow. She's literally like some sort of drill instructor. Forrest Gump got treated better than this. Forrest had a great mother. Your mama sure does care about your schooling, boy.
Shape your hands forward. There you go. 1, 2, down further. Bring your butt down.
She broke him.
2 days ago was preschool. Eve slept in and she missed preschool. She slept in and she woke up. She's like, I'm ready to go to preschool. I said, you know what? Preschool's over. You slept through it.
Just to be clear, that's not her 26-year-old daughter going for her job interview. That's her 6-year-old daughter going to nursery. You slept in, bitch. Sort yourself out.
The camera's rolling, so I can't get that mad.
She's terrifying.
It helps keep me under control.
The fact that a woman was able to post this online for as long as she did. If a man did this, he'd have been locked up after a week. She did this for years.
I've been a masterful manipulator. I have manipulated using sex. I've manipulated using external rewards. I have wanted something and I'm going to get it no matter.
Good character reference there from herself.
A year ago, my daughter was saying her prayers. Eve, she was 6 years old at the time. And she was saying her prayers and she said the cutest thing. I thought it was so cute. And I started laughing. She said, Dear Heavenly Father, Please help me to survive. And I thought it was so cute, and it just took me off guard, and I kind of giggled a little.
She's literally so oblivious to what the hell she's putting her children through that she isn't even seeing a cry for help in front of her. She thinks that's cute. I had a laugh, she said. It was funny. Seeing my tiny little baby daughter praying to God to survive my horrible parenting was funny. You absolute f***ing c***. Oh, I had to let that out there. That's... So after many of these crazy uploads, the internet came after her. They started reporting her to the police. Petitions were signed to try and get social services involved. And she was defiant.
Online who hate me, who would like to cancel me, who would like to see me either burn in hell, as I have told, or disappear off the face of the earth. And I'm not going anywhere.
Well, that's what she thought. But also you can see there, she's trying to get sympathy. Your actions have caused that. And she takes no responsibility at all. She did stop posting as much because she joined this business group called Connections, who were like giving advice out to women on how to parent their children. And she became very close friends with a woman who's a psychologist, and I use that term loosely, called Geordie Hildebrandt. Now, Geordie has actually been arrested with her, which didn't really make sense at the start of like, why is she also involved in the abuse of these kids who weren't her kids? Her niece, who stayed over at her house, has come forward.
The thing that Geordie's so good at, using what's there already. You're sad because you have so much sin inside of you. Oh, you've kissed girls? Oh my God, you are just Satan himself. Literally believed that Satan was working through me. And she literally believed that Jesus was working through her, and that she was fighting Satan on a daily basis, not just with me, but also with her clients.
It's funny, if enough people paid me to tell them, you know what your problem is? You're going to kick yourself. Yep, Satan. He's working through you, man. Aye. Luckily for you, Jesus is working through me. So come on, 100 quid, we'll sort you out. That's what we're dealing with here.
That she was combating Satan on earth every day.
Imagine fighting Satan every day. Must be knackered. This is a woman, by the way, who lived with Geordie for a whole year. And she's seen her punching Satan's face in.
And I believed all of this. So I was like, wow, like my aunt's powerful. Like she's fighting Satan. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
She's like Tyson fucking Fury. To be fair, Fury would have ducked Satan. We all know that.
She had people reporting back to her anything and everything that I did. The amount of paranoia and fear that I had, where I was like, I can't talk to anyone. People saw me duct taped. People saw that these things were going on. No one did anything.
The reason the duct tape bit is important here is later on, when this all unravels, the kids were found with duct tape on them as well.
You wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of money. I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt. With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them. They're seeing truth, they're accepting truth, they're loving truth. And so this is my passion, is to invite you to stand in truth and put your opinions to the side for a minute. Because your kids are the target of distortion.
That is just absolute nonsense, isn't it? This is her talking about the external forces at work, and she has to protect her children from sin and all of this. Meanwhile, she's just beating them up, starving them, abusing them.
Because I really won't get anything for summer. I won't be able to go anywhere. No, I don't have any friends. No iPads, no TV, no.
That was a little clip there, just stumbled on that one while we're at it, of her little boy. And you can see he can't even make eye contact. He can't even like lift his head up and speak with confidence because she's just withering him away from an early age. So all of this is obviously just the tip of the iceberg. Like, she, by her own admission, behaves better on camera. But on August 30th, a neighbour near Geordie Hildebrandt's house had to make a call to the police.
Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he had just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty. And he asked us to call the police.
Are the neighbors out of their home, or is anybody looking for them that you can see?
No. Our homes are far enough away. I'm not sure. Her name is Geordie Hildebrand. His ankles are taped up, and he won't tell us why.
Okay.
But he has duct taped around each ankle. I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
You can hear in his voice, just even looking at this little kid, is breaking him up inside, because we're talking open wounds, marks on him, he's thirsty, he's starving, he's been taped. Like, he has been tortured. He is a prisoner who's escaped. He is not just a child anymore. Both women were then arrested, having been in the home at the time, making videos for this bullshit website they've got. Imagine the fact that they were probably recording advice videos for women on how to discipline your children. Well, the 12-year-old is escaping out the window. The mother's sisters have even come forward to the news and said, we were kept as far away from those kids as possible. We knew it was weird. We just couldn't get involved because we were told you're not welcome. Child Protective Services also had been notified multiple times about this over the years, and they failed these kids. They've actually postponed the bail hearing because there's so much evidence on them. Because this woman was bragging about what a great mother she was, she's actually snitched on herself so much. So I guess you could say that if you're ever wanting to know how not to be a criminal, don't snitch on yourself online, and then don't make courses about it, because you will end up in jail. So since all this, the cops have obviously found all the other children, recognised that this has been an issue throughout her parenting among all the children, and luckily they've apprehended her. She ain't got her kids anymore. She's behind bars. Now, the question I asked earlier was, where the hell is the dad in all of this? Well, you can ask his lawyer, because he's not talking. Sounds innocent. Am I right?
He's busy. He's struggling, trying to make sense out of what's happened to him in the last 13 months, and kind of coming out of a fog.
Just a hazy fog, which I have not got a great recollection of.
So in other words, he was completely taken off guard by these allegations, completely shocked?
Absolutely shocked.
Shocked they didn't happen sooner? Literally, they're your kids. You're in all the videos, bro.
She had reached out to him for months and months and months before that. She reached out to him when it was an emergency, knowing she could rely on him to help his kids.
Sorry, we're hearing now that they had no contact for months and months, apparently. Right.
They were separated, I read, for 13 months, so they weren't living with each other. How much was he seeing the kids?
Almost not at all. Actually, not at all.
So this is your defense. You separated with her, you didn't see the kids at all, and she was just allowed to do whatever she wanted, and you were none the wiser.
Why is that?
Because she told him it was better, that they needed to work on their marriage and needed to keep their family together, but that everything was better off with him not in the home.
We need to work on our marriage by having nothing to do with each other. We wouldn't keep our family together by never seeing you. Well, this makes sense.
Why were they separated? What was the catalyst?
I probably shouldn't go into that. That's pretty private.
Yeah, that's private. These motherfuckers are all over the news for abusing children. Privacy went out the window a while ago. This whole defense of his that she's just manipulated him and he was a defenseless little animal who just helplessly couldn't see his children all that time, when we've seen him in the videos perpetuating the same kind of behavior that she was. And now all of a sudden he had no idea and he wasn't even there, and you know, it was best for the kids if I'm just not there. Conveniently to exonerate himself. It just doesn't add up, man. It's bullshit. He's actually more pathetic than her. So that's where we're at now in the case. It is ongoing, and I'm going to follow this one because I really hate this woman. Let me know what your theories are in the comments, you little investigative journalists out there. Hit that like button. Stay subscribed to the True Geordie YouTube channel for more, and I'll see you on the next one.